The bye week is finally here for your Seattle Seahawks as we have reached the halfway point of the 2024 campaign. The Seahawks currently sitting with a 4-5 record on a 2-game losing streak. What does John Schneider and Mike Macdonald need to do differently as they approach the second half of the year? We will discuss all of that and more coming up on today's program. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. You still believe in those Hawks? You can't lose the faith. Never give up. Don't ever give up. If you still believe in those Seattle Seahawks as we head towards the second half of the season, like the video. Smash that like button. We need to show them all the love and support they can get because they certainly need every ounce of it right now. Like the video, we'll get started with today's show. So I got 5 things that the Seahawks need to address during this bye week of what they need to do differently as they gear up for the second half of the season. And let's just start with the obvious one, and that's get healthy. You look at the injury report for Seattle, and it's pretty lengthy. And to put it in the simplest of terms, Tyler, explain this to me as if I'm 5. You just need to get some dudes back. I mean, in all honesty, this week off could not have come at a better time when it comes to that injury report in getting back some key players that could make a difference as we go towards the second half of this season. Just having the rest. Don't do anything stupid this week. I don't want to hear about guys, going skiing and having a little accident or, getting on a boat and, having, drowning or something like that. Just don't do anything stupid. Let's just go get healthy, enjoy the bye week, and get back on the football field. Because here's what we're looking at right now, folks. All right, let's break this down piece by piece. You got Abe on PUP in the middle of his 21-day window. The hope is that he comes back after the bye week. We'll see. Uchenna Nwosu with the quads injury. He's on IR. He might be done for the year. We'll see. Stone Forsythe with the hand injury. He's on IR, but honestly, we might not want him back anyway. Artie Burns with the toe, also on IR. Cam Young with the knee injury, also on IR. We'll see the status of those guys. Rayshon Jenkins, they haven't completely ruled him out for the 2024 season yet. Still waiting some further evaluation on his hand injury, but for now, he's on the IR spot. George Fant, the knee injury, he's still progressing. His snap count was limited this past week. He's kind of questionable going forward. Kayvon Wallace with the ankle injury, questionable. Oh, yeah, and DK Metcalf with the MCL. And Mike Macdonald was kind of coy this week when talking about DK's status going forward of his injury and the hope to have him back for that game against the Niners. They just simply don't know. And then Noah Fant with the groin, questionable as well. But that's a lot of injuries, but with the potential of getting some key pieces back here in the coming weeks. Just need to get healthy. Number 2, you need to figure the hell out with this right tackle situation. Now, some of you may be saying, Tyler, would you rather play Abe? Would you rather play George Fant? Would you like to roll with the rookie Mike Jerrell? Here's my honest answer. I do not care who it is. I do not care who it is. This is all I care about, folks. I just want somebody to play that position, stay healthy, and play it effectively. If that's Abe Lucas, if that's George Fant, if that's Mike Jerrell, I do not give 2 flying Fs who it is. I just don't care. As long as somebody plays the position effectively. Just somebody, anybody at this point in time. Here's the situation for Seattle right now. When it comes to the right tackle situation of what we're talking about with our 4 individuals at this position. You got Abe on the 21-day window on PUP. Hopefully he makes his return. Hopefully it's not a chronic issue. We'll see. You got George Fant. He's played in 2 games this season. You had the week 1 contest where he got hurt. Last week was a limited role. Hopefully he's heading in the right direction. Mike Jerrell's played in 4 games this season. Showed some flashes, but other times still looked like a 6th-round rookie too. And then Stone, of course, on IR, and I don't miss him really at all. But nonetheless, that's the situation that the Seahawks are at. It ain't pretty, but it could get better. So if you had to pick a right tackle, which one would you rather roll with? If both guys are healthy in the coming weeks, Are you putting your money on Abe? Or are you putting your money on George Fant? Type A for Abraham Lucas. Type GF for George Fant. Get in that comment section and tell us what you think. Today's show is sponsored by our friends at Prize Picks. Prize Picks, ever heard of them? Well, that's where I come in. Prize Picks is the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Pick two or more players in any given category. Get the choice of more or less, whether you're talking fantasy points in football, rebounds in basketball, goals in hockey, all sorts of different categories to choose from. They got a great deal they're offering. They will give you $50 to spend for free when you spend $5 on Prize Picks. Now, obviously, our Hawks have the week off this week on this upcoming week with the bye week and all. So with that in mind, I had to start looking around other places. And so here's what I got, looking at a little Thursday night football action for you, as we got a good one on Thursday between the Ravens and the Bengals. And I got three pieces to this, folks. I got Lamar to hit the more, I got Joe Burrow to hit the more, and Derrick Henry to hit the more as well, as I'm talking rushing yards on Lamar, 50.5. I got Joe Burrow to hit the more, 267.5 passing yards, and I got Derrick Henry to hit the more on half a rushing and receiving touchdown. And you can play along with me. PrizePicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Check out Prize Picks today. All right, so this is kind of a two-edged sword here. This is about the run game, but I want to take two angles on this. One is, let's start with the play calling end of things. Ryan Grubb has done a terrible job when it comes to this run game. It is a mess. Fix the mess. Like you're a congressman going to Washington that says, I'm going to fix this. I want Ryan Grubb to take that approach when it comes to this run game, because it has been abysmal. And I know people are quick to blame the offensive line, and rightfully so, but I think play calling is a big part of this as well. Ryan Grubb does not get creative enough with this run game. It's too predictable. I mean, you even go back to that 4th and 1 on Sunday against the LA Rams. Everybody and their mother knew that they were going to run to the left side. The Rams read it, and they stopped him. Got a 4th and 1 stuff. And that's been a constant theme. It's not just that they can't run the ball well and they're not running the ball enough. They're too predictable in their run game. They got to find more creative ways to run the football and run the football more effectively. Kenneth Walker, I got to tell you, folks, I think K9 is a top 10 back in this league. I really do. But this Seahawks offense isn't given the opportunity to look like that. You see this season, he's been limited to under 400 yards and 6 touchdowns. I think Zach Charbonnet is a solid back as well, but Zach hasn't been able to play to his full potential yet, and they just got to figure it out. Ryan Grubb has to do a better job to figure this run game out and find more ways to get creative to make this thing work in some way, shape, or form. All right, let's talk Geno now. And I hate that we've had to get to this point that we're having this conversation, but I think it's time to shorten the leash on Geno Smith. I think you need to put the full pressure on Geno Smith to figure the hell out right now. And the obvious one is cutting back on the turnovers. That's been the Achilles heel for Geno Smith in 2024, as he's thrown 10 interceptions, completion percentage around 68% this season, 11 touchdowns on just over 2,500 yards. And Geno has cost this team too many games. And I think what you have to say with Geno is you need to figure it out pretty soon, cutting back on the turnovers, not getting in your team's way, or we're going to give the young cat Sam Howell a shot. Now, I'm not at the point of pulling the plug on Geno Smith just yet. I know a lot of you in the comments have been saying that you want to pull the plug on Geno Smith, and believe me, I can hear you loud and clear. And part of me would like to see what you have in Sam Howell. But you're in the middle of a season where you still have a chance. You have a team that still believes in their quarterback. He's been there with this group for the last 3+ years now. I'm not ready to give up yet, but I do think the leash is shorter. The room for error is smaller. If Geno has struggles like he had last week, then you got to start thinking about your other options when it comes to Geno Smith and seeing if Sam's the guy or not. You have to be careful, though, because as the old adage goes, if you have 2 starting quarterbacks, you have no starting quarterback. Once you move on to Sam Howell, if you decide to do that, there's no going back. You have to stay with Sam Howell at that point going forward. So I'm very careful on this. I'm telling Geno, be more of a game manager now. I don't trust you enough to go out there and throw it 40-plus times a game. Go be a game manager. Go limit mistakes. Don't cost this team football games. Bottom line, that's what it comes down to this. Is it time to bench Geno Smith? I say no. I'm not there yet. What do you guys think? Type B for bench, D for don't. Chime in if you think it's time to bench Geno or not. Last on our list, I want to take a moment and just say this, folks. This team needs a mental reset. They really just need to take this week and just say, we got to reel it back in. We're what? 10 weeks into the season now, and we're still making mistakes, mental errors, as if it's week 2 of the preseason at this point. This team needs to lock in, act like you've been there before, and fix those little things. And obviously the big ones are the penalties and the turnovers. That's the big issues that we're talking about here. You look at the turnover rankings, they're towards the bottom of the league in turnover margin, in giveaways, takeaways a game, just 1.0, 18th. Interceptions thrown, that's the Geno stat there, puts him at 25th. He's also 25th in QBR this season as well, but just have to cut down on those things. That's major. The penalty issues. I mean, everything from the unsportsmanlike penalties to the false starts, the holding calls. I see the secondary getting called time and time again for DPIs and for defensive holding. It's just got to clean up. And that mental thing, too, one more step further, I think we go back to the Bills game when we saw the infighting on the sidelines, right? You had that scuffle go on with Derek Hall and Jarran Reed, where Derek Hall was trying to hold, or Jarran Reed was trying to hold Derek Hall accountable, and Derek Reed wasn't about that. I need the veterans to step in. I've heard a number of people say that this team, I think it was Richard Sherman in particular that said this, lacks that veteran leadership presence to have somebody that's manning up this group and to get them dialed in, to get them where they need to be. They don't have that Bobby Wagner anymore. They don't have the Quandre Diggs types. And they really need to just say, you know what? We got another half of the season. Everything's still in front of us. We got to lock in. We got to do our job if we want to be a serious football team. What will the Seahawks' final record be in 2024? Get your predictions in now. What do you guys think it will be? Weigh in. Let us know. If you enjoyed today's show, still believe in this Seahawks team, like the video. We certainly would appreciate it. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.